Oh.
Just tell me when to go.
Give it a little chance so people can come
I'm gonna share the live on my page.
Okay.
Is it live already? It's not coming up.
It should be done.
What is the page?
It's on.
It's the Proaiir Facebook page.
Okay.
Oh, Proaiir Facebook page.
Yeah. It's the Pro. I have 3 so far watching.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting on the Proaiir page so I can share it on my wall so our people can see it.
Okay.
Proaiir, what's the name of it? Proaiir what? Makeup?
Just type in Proaiir. Donna's page will come up. Proaiir.
Yes, it's not.
Okay, show off's body art. We're gonna help you find it too on Facebook world. We have we have about 18 people watching right now, so that's good. 17. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do an intro. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for joining us today with Proaiir and myself.
It's on my wall now.
Huh?
I was telling her it's on my wall now
Okay.
so she can see it.
I want to thank you and I appreciate you coming and joining me on this Sunday afternoon. We're going to be talking about some drag makeup, and primarily, I talked to Donna prior to this, but I'm primarily going to be using Proaiir products for all of this. Sometimes in the drag world, we use a lot of different things, from stuff like Wet n Wild products to Kat Von D to Laura Mercier or whatever. So there's tons of products that we use, but we're going to stick with a lot of Proaiir stuff so that if you want to recreate this at home, you most certainly can. Oh, I just sounded like I was the teacher just then. Reminded me of my high school teachers. But first off, I do want to do an introduction. My name is Barry Perkins. I'm also known as Reese Eve Cocx. I am a drag performer here in Birmingham, Alabama. But I did want to give a little bit of my background. Currently, I do work as a nurse for a multiple sclerosis clinic. I also work with Airbrush Factory, which is a haunted house out in Leeds, Alabama, and that's kind of what segued me into makeup artistry. I have been a makeup artist for the past 17 years. Lord, I wrote all this down, I promise I did. My brain just says, nope, it's not going to happen. But I am currently on cast at Our Place for drag performances, which is a local bar here in Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, OP, how you doing? I want to give a shout out to my castmates, of course, my drag husband, my real life husband, Sharon Cox, Karis, I love you girl, Fawn, my sweet little girl, I love you. That's my drag daughter. Speaking of drag daughters, this is another one of my drag daughters. This is our best. She's going to be my face model today. Let's see what else. I want to give a shout out to my Cox family. And give a shout out to my Mystic crew of Caritas. I love you guys. I hate that we're having to go through all this separation. Everybody's having separation anxiety right now. So I just want to say, hey, I love you guys, and let's get started on this. Let me wipe my sweat off of my face. Lord Jesus, it's hot as Hades in this place. Okay, so I am going to be using the Proaiir line of the face skin tones. I had to mix a couple of them to get the proper foundation to match Aura, but what I mixed, I'm going to actually put down in the comments later on after all this. I'm going to put a list of all the products and stuff that we use today. So if you did want to recreate this exact look, you most certainly can do this at home. And I'd love to see that. If you guys do want to recreate it, I want to see you. I want to see what you got. Show me what you're going to do. Now we did already start by covering her eyebrows, and because this is a quick look that we're doing today, I used Elmer's glue stick. It's the disappearing, sorry, let me turn this way. It's the disappearing purple glue stick. You know it's dry when it turns clear. We powder set everything. She's got a nice clean face, so we're ready to go. If you'll go ahead and turn me on. Sometimes faux pas happen. And by faux pas, I mean whoopsies. But my airbrush gun, I was cleaning it this morning, and for some reason the little spring in the bottom inside the little chamber down here popped out. It went over this room. I don't know where it's at, but I'll find it later. Things happen, you just kind of got to go with it. But we're going to start with foundation, and this is the foundation that I mixed up for Aura. And again, this is all using the Proaiir skin tone line. So we'll start off with that on a nice clean face. All right, and do we got any comments coming in or questions?
Not yet.
Not yet. We just got a lot of people watching. All right, so there's a couple of ways that you can cover the face. You can do circles to help get the foundation on, or you can do lines like this. Whatever you do, just make sure you're consistent with it. And again, I'm going to put my finger over the tip end of it because my spring's gone and it keeps my trigger up. But when you push down, I'm using a dual action gravity fed gun. So you want to push down to get your air and pull back to get your color. Excuse me, but whenever you cover a face, you want to make sure you're doing a consistent flow with it. You want to make sure if you're going to go in lines the whole time, make sure you're going in up and down motions. And also talk to your actor too, or your model. That way you know, they know where you're coming, they know where you're going to be at. We're going to move this thing again.
Yep.
Get in a little closer.
Closer. Donna's asking for
Okay,
the model
yeah.
to be closer.
All right, and I'm going to turn that way just a little bit. There we go. Whoop. So we're going to give some full coverage here. The thing I love about the Proaiir line is that it does offer you a lot of coverage. And it looks really, really good on camera because of that matte finish. All right, so I'm going to come around your nose real quick. If I can get you to take a deep breath and hold and blow out through your nose. What that does is it kind of creates some negative pressure around there so that your actor's not inhaling the makeup, which is a good thing. Proaiir smells good. It smells good enough that you want to eat it, but don't eat it because it is an alcohol-based product. It's not going to be that it's not going to taste that good, I promise. All right, so I'm going to kind of sweep this way. Again, we're going in up and down motions. Coming right over your eye again. Match that up to the forehead. All right, I'm going to go right into your eye. All right, I'm going to actually get you to kind of turn just a little bit towards me. I should have got my turn. Yeah, there we go. I should have got my swivel chair for this, but that's okay. We will. I'm going to come behind the light so I can see what I'm doing. Another good tip is you can put some cotton ball in your subject's ear so that they don't get that airflow over the ear, because a lot of people don't like that. It's really uncomfortable to your subject. So if you want to take a little piece of cotton ball and get them to stick it, you let them do it. You let them stick it in your ear because not many people like others sticking their fingers in their ear. But you want to get them to kind of put just a little bit in their ear to keep the air from passing over their ear, because sometimes it's very unpleasant as a person getting their makeup done. It's not very fun. Okay, I'm gonna get you to turn your head towards the wall just a little bit. There we go. All right, I'm going right back around your nose. So if I can get you to take a deep breath and hold and blow out through your nose. And we're going to do that one more time, and I'm going to get you, if you look at me real quick, I'm going to get you to kind of roll your lip down so I can get right underneath your nose. All right, take a deep breath, hold, and blow out through your nose one more time. And notice I'm going at an angle. I'm not shooting up the nose. I'm going to blow air through your nose real quick. You don't want to go this way because you're going to force that makeup up the actor's nose. So you kind of want to go down at a little bit of an angle so that they're not inhaling the makeup again. Okay, we're going to take one more deep breath and hold and blow out through your nose. Okay, we got all that nice and covered.
As you're doing that, we would like to know if, how does the makeup feel? Does it feel well for the model on the face?
It's actually very, very lightweight. I don't feel like there's anything on my face, really. Obviously, whenever the product is being put onto the face, there's like a cool sensation to it because of the air. But other than that, I don't really feel anything on my face.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, one thing I do recommend, I'm going to kind of come in this way. One thing I do recommend is to keep an extra little bottle full of alcohol, especially if you're just using one gun and you don't want the colors to kind of blend together. It's good to take that alcohol and put a couple of drops in there, back bubble it, to clean it out a little bit before you proceed with your other colors. Since I'm doing foundation, I kind of want them all to kind of be cohesive because I did kind of base them all off the same color family. Sorry, that's my shaky voice because I'm shaking this thing up. All right, so now that we've got the foundation on and everything, we're gonna go in with a lighter color and we're gonna highlight. I do like to highlight first before I do contour, because I feel like contour kind of helps to clean everything up and it helps you get a sharper line. There we go. And also keep an extra piece of, this is just a piece of Frisk film. You can get it at any Hobby Lobby, any kind of hobby store to use as something to help get in there. And I'll show all that in just a second. But right now I'm going to go in and highlight everything. So we're going to go right underneath your eye. Okay, we're going to start over here.
As you're doing that, Erica would like to know, do you need to do any extra step if possible? People have extra dark circles under their eyes, or acne for full coverage, or is Proaiir good alone?
That is a very good question. I feel like most of the time, because it's a matte finish product, Proaiir is going to offer you that full coverage, and it's going to look really good on camera and on film and pictures. But if you do need some extra coverage, the good thing about Proaiir is that if you do any kind of color correction with like cream colors or anything like that beforehand, Proaiir will go right over it and kind of help add to the coverage of everything. But yeah, for texture like acne, prone skin and stuff like that, texture is really hard to take out of anything. One of the good ways to do that, again, is to use a matte product so that you're not adding some kind of shimmer or highlight to say, hey, I got a zit right here. Not a lot of people like that kind of thing. So using a matte product helps with that. But to get rid of that actual texture on the skin, it's going to be really, really hard to do in person. On camera, yeah, easy to do. But on like in person, when you're face to face with somebody, it's kind of hard to do that. To answer the question, if you want to get some more coverage or discoloration of dark circles, anything like that, you can color correct first with a coordinating cream color to make that happen, and then go over everything with a Proaiir. Okay, so I'm hitting the highlighted points of this face. All right, I'm gonna get you to turn this one just a little bit this way. All right, and I'm gonna go right under your eye on this side. And I'm kind of hitting this T-zone area. And this is what I would normally do with another cream foundation if I was doing a cream foundation on anything. Or I would do it with powders. The good thing about Proaiir is you don't really have to use a powder on it. You can if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to. All right, so I'm gonna close your eye. I'm gonna hit right in the middle of your forehead. This is gonna be more of that T-zone area, because we're going drag, honey. We ain't doing no Kardashian makeup. We're going drag.
While you're doing that, the people on the Facebook land would like to know, where did you learn drag makeup from?
Where did I learn? Surprisingly, I learned
your makeup.
Yeah.
I tend to stop and talk.
I tend to stop and talk because I'm a talker. I'm a nurse, y'all. Oh. And I'm from Alabama. That's another thing. How I learned makeup, honestly, again, I can't type and talk at the same time, y'all. Lord Jesus. I learned how to do FX makeup and everything and drag makeup all through my fantastic Atrox family. Again, I've been the head of the makeup department there for the past, I'm not going to say how long, I think it's been like 17 years. It's been quite a while. But we had to learn how to, in most haunted houses, let me back up. In most haunted houses, most every female character is this damsel in distress, and she's like, oh Lord, some man's chasing me. We didn't want that. I kind of got tired of that. So I wanted to kind of create, because I love characters like Elvira, Morticia, Lily Munster, those type of characters, those strong female characters, and people like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. You need a good, strong female character. So I kind of was thinking, we need to learn how to do this, and we kind of wanted to create like our own Elvira type character. Well, at home, I'm going to plug that up because it's driving me crazy. At home, I didn't really have any face to work on except for my own. So that year that we did that, I pulled out my cream paints and started painting my face and said, all right, y'all, this is what we're doing. And I watched a couple of YouTube videos. I read Kevin Aquan's book because it does talk about some contouring and highlighting techniques and stuff in there. But again, going back to that, I'm highlighting the high points of the face. I'm highlighting things that I want to draw forward. This next step is the contouring section, so we're gonna make things go away that we don't really want to be there. So contour kind of helps shadow everything in. And that's really where you kind of help shape the face. Highlight will bring it forward, but the contours will help to make that believability of, oh, she got some good cheekbones, which Aura does have some good cheekbones, but we're gonna make them look even better. We're gonna take them to that next level, honey. But
they're also letting Aura know that she has beautiful lips.
Yeah. I read that one earlier.
But no, to answer the question, I did learn it. I learned how to do drag makeup over a couple of summers, watching some YouTube videos, reading makeup books, and stuff like that. But I learned it because of Aatrox, and I love that. I think it's so much
Speaking
fun.
of Aatrox and not stopping what you're doing, being from the South at Paul Johnson, where it's very humid, even during the haunt season.
Oh, yeah.
Proaiir perform under that humidity.
Y'all, Proaiir is this color coming out right? Y'all had too much makeup in there. There we go. No, Proaiir performs really well under humidity. We here in Alabama, it gets really, really hot during October. October's not, we got fall leaves, but it might still be 99 degrees outside. So we don't have a lot of cooler Octobers. We do towards the end. Halloween, you may freeze, I can't say that on the computer. You may freeze
your testicles off.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, you may freeze your testicles off.
I'm the translator for the...
You may freeze all that stuff off, but during October, during the busy month, it's hot as hell outside. So inside, it's going to be even hotter inside a haunt. So maybe 90 degrees outside, it may be 110 degrees inside the haunted house. Proaiir, because it's alcohol based, it's pretty much sweat proof. We get our actors ready probably around 6 o'clock. By the time we close midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, they come back to the cast room. They still look exactly like they did when we put them in there at 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. So Proaiir really offers that that longevity that you need in any makeup. Okay, so I'm gonna just turn your head towards the camera. Okay, so if y'all, I don't know if y'all can't see that side. So yeah, if you'll turn completely that way. Okay. So what we're doing here is we're starting at the temple and we're following her bone. We kind of did a practice run through yesterday, so I kind of know where her bone structure is. But to contour something, you're going to want to start about at the earlobe, or back here by the ear, and follow that bone down there. So, and you just kind of want it to blend into the skin. So short strokes, again, I'm going to cover her ear, so I'm not blowing air in there. So short strokes, and again, you can build the coverage of Proaiir. That's another good thing about it. Airbrush makeup in general, you can build it.
I can add on to the sweating part.
There we go. So you can see that good contour right there. We're also going to take it and shape the face. We want to give her a more rounded face. So we're going to kind of come in here and chisel that jawline in a little bit more to give that rounded face. All right, so if you can turn towards me, we're gonna do the other side.
As you're doing that.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. It's just so you can get some stuff done. But we at Aatrox, I work also in the makeup team with Barry or Reese, and also worked as one of the actors before we had Proaiir. And the difference before what we used to use and what we use now, I mean, I remember my makeup before we used Proaiir. My makeup coming off in the middle of the scene and having to go back and being like, hey, we need a retouch here, we need a retouch there. But ever since we've been using Proaiir, we have not had absolutely any problems with it coming off in the middle of the night. The monsters literally look the same by the time they come back to the makeup room. So that's a testimonial.
We'll make sure I got that even. I'm trying to reach around the camera to make sure it's even. Using this ring light helps the viewers at home see, but it's kind of a conundrum for me. See, I kind of put myself on the line for y'all. So y'all, just kidding. And that's the thing about makeup, it should be fun. You know, you should always have fun with it, and I just ran out of makeup. You should have fun with it, and make sure that the person that you're doing makeup on is having fun too.
You want to see the monitor real quick?
No, because if I do, I'm gonna. Okay, so it's not too bad. Yeah, okay.
So a little delayed. But.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to use my Frisk film. I'm going to, if I can get you to hold that up there. Yeah, just put your finger there. All right, I kind of have one edge that's curved. That can be used to help chisel in the jawline. And I probably should have done that, but I didn't because I like to do things free-handed. This edge right here is good for straight lines. This edge is also good for straight lines, but I like it because it's shorter and I can use it for the nose. So what we're gonna do, you're not gonna be able to see it on this side when I do it, but when I do this side, you'll be able to see it. So I'm gonna take this line right here and I'm gonna put it right where I'm gonna put her eyebrow. I'm actually gonna use my finger to kind of balance on the face. And again, you know, talk to your actor. I'm gonna use that to kind of contour that nose a little bit. Use an airbrush. Again, so we're gonna try to get it. You know what? We're gonna switch hit it. All right, so we're gonna line up at that eyebrow and we're gonna come and hit it at an angle, just so we get that. Oh crap. Well, this is why I like to do things freehand. So, the thing about it though, it's airbrush makeup, so we can fix that. Things happen. Y'all, if y'all knew the morning I was having, Lord Jesus. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in and kind of fix up some of those spots that we kind of overpainted a little bit. Okay. But again, I did that to show you, to get the idea that you can use stencils to kind of help contour things up and contour things in and yada yada yada. And again, my comical self, mistakes do happen, y'all. Y'all may not be able to see it on camera, but I know it's there and it's going to drive me freaking crazy.
Carla, a good makeup brand for airbrush would be Proaiir. It's the one that we're using today. And if Barry can hold one of the bottles up to the screen so that you can see it.
Yeah, that's the brand that we're using today. We're kind of sticking to Proaiir products, and when I get to the eyebrows and the I'm really going to be using the rainbow colors for the eyeshadows when we get there.
And I would like to know what the air pressure is set on the machine.
Right now, my air pressure, I set it on about 15 psi, 15 to 18 psi. Now, I do like to use Prolong a lot to thin down my makeups already. Proair's already ready to go. let me stop that. Proair is already ready to go to use and all that fun stuff. But I do like mine to be a little bit thinner because I feel like I got a little bit more control over it that way because I can bump my PSI down a little further.
They mean airbrush gun. I'm sorry, not airbrush.
Yeah, I'm using the Proaiir airbrush gun.
And they would like to know also. Oh, never mind. She was saying that she has all the skin colors.
Okay, yes, good. Well, I'm on that bottle.
And she has all the skin colors. She's just going to try this out later once the video's over.
Good. Now, I will say the good thing about Proaiir and the thing that I absolutely love about it is the fact that it is such a versatile product that you can mix it with the other colors of Proaiir. So, hold on, let me get this on here. You can mix it with the other colors of Proaiir. So if it doesn't fully match you, if you need to do an adjuster to it like green or red or something along those color lines, you can do that and it will take into the makeup very well because it's very, versatile in the fact that they blend together very well. Okay, so we're going to start with the eyeshadow. Now that we've got highlight, contour, and foundation done, we're going to start with the eyeshadow. So one of the main things I'm going to do is now, I'm going to back up just a minute. You can put down a white base over the eye to make the colors really pop, but Proaiir, you don't really have to do that because the colors pop anyway. So I'm going to get Aura to close her eyes real quick, and we're going to go in with yellow. I'm going to go right into the inner corner and use this yellow, and we're going to go up this way. We're going to go about middle of the eye, so y'all can see that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And again, I'm not using a whole lot of makeup. I probably used maybe 3 drops to do this whole eye. And and this is to do both of them. And one thing you can do to prevent a lot of fallout under the under eye, which I don't mind the fallout right here, which you probably really can't see that well, but she's got a little bit on the inner corner. I don't really mind that because it's going to add a little highlight in there anyways. But if you want to, you can use this a short end of a Frisk film and add that right underneath the lash line to keep it from falling out. And I'll show you just that technique real quick. There we go.
Jenny Marquez would like to know some Proaiir removal tips, please.
Honestly, one of the best Proaiir removers out there is going to be soft soap. Soap and water take it off very, very well. I have had people tell me that they use alcohol to take it off, and I have said, "Oh my God, don't do that," because
your poor skin.
You're gonna hurt your skin.
It's just alcohol itself. It has something to do with the makeup, but just alcohol itself will dry your skin out.
But one of the absolute best is soap and water. One of the best soaps out there to use on it is going to be the soft soap.
Yes, and Erica just replied to Jenny as well. She said, "Hi Jenny, apply soap first, lather in really well, and then rinse with water."
Now, again, this is going.
Thank you, Erica.
Yeah, thank you, Erica. We love Erica. So this is the green that I'm using. It's the rainbow green. I used Flow Yellow, and now I'm using Rainbow Green. And I'm going to use this edge here because I want this eye to be swooped back. Yeah, if you'll turn towards the camera that way a little bit. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to add that right here, and we're going to add that green in there. And again, Proaiir is buildable. I have never been able to do, even with a brush, a blend that quick. I mean, Lord Jesus, it just... You'll sit there with a MAC 217 brush, blending and blending and blending until your wrist just about daggum near falls off. You're using Proaiir, it's on there automatically. Ta-da! Alright, we're going to do this on this side, so y'all can see it a little bit better. And again, I'm kind of keeping the airbrush parallel to the skin, which you kind of want to do that no matter what anyways.
Scott Whalen would like to know, are you doing any sort of cleaning between colors, or do you use multiple guns as you switch between the colors?
Thank you, Thought. I am using the same gun through and through because it is a gravity-fed dual action gun. God, my brain went dead. It's a gravity-fed dual action gun. So using that allows me to switch colors pretty quickly. I can... I love that sound. I can use the same gun for everything.
Also, working from your lightest colors to your darkest color helps really well.
To me, it does. Some people like to use the darker to the lightest. I prefer the lightest to the darkest because I can kind of see maybe where we're going, and then we can take it to that next level by adding just the darker colors in.
That was really southern. The next level.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm from Alabama. I'm from Moody, Alabama, St. Clair County, y'all. All right, so I'm going to use this edge again, and this time I'm going in with the rainbow blue, and I'm going to do this as a transition color because we're going to go back in with purple. So we're going to kind of add this into the crease just to kind of darken up that green a little bit. Ta-da. I don't know why I say ta-da. It's just one of those things. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to get you to kind of look towards me just a little bit so I can make sure this is going to be even. And that's another thing. You want to make sure that you stay as even as possible when doing this, because windows are the eyes to the soul. Eyes are the windows to the soul, and drag queens are seriously deceiving. So you want to make sure that you look as deceiving as possible. All right. So we got that blue going up there.
Wait, what?
I like the way the blue.
Nothing he said makes sense.
It's Alabama-isms, Lord, y'all. All right, no, the way the blue takes over the green, it kind of creates that aqua color, which I really, really love. It does kind of remind me of Lily Munster a little bit. I love Lily Munster. She's my favorite. I should have done Elvira makeup on you with this one, but I ain't gonna. You could, though. You could really easily do it with all this because they've got, again, Proaiir has so many colors. They have a great color range. They have just about every color you can think of. And if not, you can make it because the colors blend together.
My contacts make my eyes look so big.
I didn't realize you were wearing contacts, and I've been this close to you.
They're huge. They're
not like I'm terrified of contacts or anything. But
they're circle lenses.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to use this edge again, and we're going to go in with the purple just to darken everything up. I'm not using black on this because, again, we're going for like this neon fantasy, if you will.
Aww.
All right, now, if I can get y'all to turn your head that way, and you can kind of see that color blend. And I always just like the way that, you know, obnoxious colors that shouldn't go together. With makeup, you can make that happen. All right, so we got that going on there. Make sure there's nothing else I want to do right now with just the airbrush makeup. I do want to, let's see, look back in the mirror. Okay, I do want to make sure that we touch all this stuff up. So I'm going to go in there and freehand some stuff and kind of bring that cut crease in a little bit more. And doing the cut crease, what I'm doing is I'm not following her actual eye line. I'm following her eye socket. I want those eyes to be as big as possible. And that's how we're able to get all that makeup into an eye. Because most, male faces typically do have a hooded eye. I know I do. So it's hard to, it's hard to cover that up. So we want to go as big as we can. Aura has very, very beautiful features, so it's easy to make this kind of swoop back into this like snatched look that we're going for.
She's a woman.
She's a woman.
She's a woman. She's not. She doesn't have a hooded eye.
I'm going to take just a second to get somebody to turn the compressor off.
Compressor off. Savannah's here and she can hear
Savannah,
us.
can you turn the compressor off for me, please?
We have a compressor technician. We have a secretary reading the comments, and
and see, well,
the whole team.
That's no, it needs
Turn
to
it
be
off.
Yeah. So that's because my spraying came out of my airbrush gun this morning. Makes me so mad.
Do you put marbles in your Proaiir bottles?
I do actually.
I don't know why I whistle.
I don't. I do actually. You can. Most of them come with them in there, I think. But you can get a little bag of marbles from the Dollar Tree even, and they fit perfectly down on the inside of the containers, and you just shake them. Well, that one ain't going in it. Nope. One of these does because I just picked it up and shook. I'm gonna find it. This one does. Yes. That sound, that's got a marble in it. I do recommend you to do something like that though, because it's gonna help That's going to help mix everything and make it easier to use. Now the next step I'm going to go into her eyebrow. Actually, before I do that, no, because I want to clean up those eyebrows in a minute. I kind of think and go at the same time. I'm going to be using the Proaiir Solids Neon palette. Let me pull this back a little bit. Can y'all see that okay? I'm going to be using the Proaiir Neon's Solids palette and a couple of the dips. So I have dips in neon pink as well. We're going to give her a neon pink to purple ombre brow. Because that was a mouthful. But what that does is that's going to match her wig that she's wearing. Let's see. And I'm using both. I don't know if you can kind of see that on here. I've got the dips up here, and I've got the airbrush. The solids down on the bottom. And I'm actually going to be using a real thin brush. This one I used on her last night, so I didn't bother to really clean it because it is alcohol based, and alcohol doesn't harbor bacteria, which is a great thing about Proaiir. So, and I'm adding in the dips because I want a more opaque finish, because these are supposed to be brows. They're not a shadow of a brow. So you want to, I like the neon dips and the neon pink from the Solids palette go very well together. So I just kind of want to add just a little bit more opacity by using that dips. Now how we're going to do the brow, we're going to start, since we've got her nose right here, I'm going to use the bristle of the brush. This is this part. We're going to kind of angle her brow into there. So we're going to do 3 points. One there. We're going to go and extend it through the eye. So we'll go here. We're going to use a line, extend it here. And then we want it to end somewhere. I don't know if you can kind of try and hit that way. We're going to the edge of the eye here, and we want it to end kind of right there. So I don't know if you can see, but I made 3 little dot points. And now it's at this point, so we got a point here, here, and here. It's just to connect the dots. Because we do want a really snatched brow. And again, Proaiir, the longer it kind of sets with me doing this, it kind of dries a little bit, so it makes it a little bit easier to work with, so it's not too completely wet. But short strokes kind of work best. And I do like to start with a thin brow and then build up from there. I don't really like a completely thin brow in drag. I don't think it looks as realistic. But for some faces it does. I mean, if you're doing like a character face, like, I don't know, say something like the Ghost Bride or something. Like from Tim Burton's, what's that movie? Corpse Bride. If you're doing something like that, she's got very thin brows. That's okay. And again, with drag, it's all about characterization anyway. So if your character has thin brows, honey, you let that happen. Okay, so we're kind of doing shorts.
Sandra Sanchez has a 2 follow-up question. So are you using regular paint to do tattoo, face paint, and etc. for the makeup? I was thinking in other paints, I mean more cosmetics or some special. If not, that's awesome.
No, I'm trying to keep everything I can to Proaiir, to all face painting makeups. Again, with Proaiir, it lasts a long time, so you can use it for something like stage work. But yeah, I'm just using the straight up face painting stuff right now. I think around the eyes when we get into the lower lash line, because I'm going to come back to that. It is important to use an actual product that is made for the eyes for that, because you're not gonna want to get an alcohol-based product in your eye. That's not going to be fun. That's going to hurt. Your people are probably going to be mad at you when that happens. So you want to make sure to use products that are for what they are. But again, to answer your question, yeah, I'm using just straight up Proaiir face paint for the... Sorry, I can't draw and talk at the same time. Straight up Proaiir face paint for the most part of everything.
I'll let you finish the brows and then I'll continue the questions.
Okay. Now one thing I like to do is kind of dab it a little bit. Make it a little bit wetter. Because I do like a little bit of an ombre effect on a brow. So I'm not going to add a whole lot of product back to it. I just added some Prolong to this. And I'm going to use my finger and kind of dab that so we get a little bit of a ombre. There we go. So you can kind of see it kind of blends back into it. Now to finish the other side, I am going to use a completely different brush because I want that hard differentiation between purple and pink because we're going to a ombre brow. So I'm going to another thin brush and I'm using purple. And again, I used these on her last night. I recommend to clean your brushes. Everybody clean your brushes. But these were the brushes that I specifically used on her last night when we kind of went over this look. So I didn't bother with cleaning them because they don't harbor bacteria because it's alcohol based. So I'm going to take this purple and I'm going to add, again, I'm using the same palette. I'm using the Proaiir Solids Neon palette. I'm going to pick up, kind of get it a little wet. Okay, now that we got enough on there, I'm going to let that set a second. And let's see, I'm going to try to get you to turn that way so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to start back here on the back side of it. So I'm going to underline what I did there and then blend down. Now that that's still a little wet, I'm going to kind of balance myself on her head. And I'm going to kind of just blend that forward a little bit. And there we go. So you got that nice transition from purple, from pink to purple. Now one more thing I am gonna do, I'm gonna use that same purple because I tend to like a little bit like a bushy looking brown, kind of like what was her name from the 80s?
From the Blue Lagoon.
From Blue Lagoon, yeah, y'all gonna know who I'm talking about.
I have a computer, I can look it up.
Anywho, you can use, I like that kind of brown. So I'm gonna...
I have it on the tip of my tongue.
I have it too, and I can't think of it.
Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields, yes. Not so much Brooke Shields because that's a heavy brow.
Everybody's saying Brooke Shields, Brooke Shields.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying that they love the effect. Donna would like to know, as you were talking about brushes and cleaning brushes,
yes.
What is your sanitary protocol working at the haunt for all of these actors to avoid spreading germs?
We use alcohol on everything. We've always done that from day one. As a nurse, I like things to be clean. So at the end of the night, after we finish with everything, I use, now I'm going to get back in here and thin out my brush a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to thin out my brush a little bit so I can get some little hair strokes in there. I like to use alcohol on everything. So we clean our brush tips with an alcohol-based cleaner. We run denatured alcohol through the airbrush guns themselves. We have a little bottle that we hook up to the bottom because our guns at the haunt are siphon fed. So they have a little bottle that attaches to the bottom of the airbrush gun. And we use that, we run it through it. Again, using a lot of alcohol-based products, things don't harbor bacteria, so it makes it easy to clean and keep it clean between people. Now, every year, everybody does get sick because you're going to be around all these people, but I want to make sure that it's not going to be the makeup that causes that. A lot of haunts still use cream paints, which is great, but if you don't clean it in between your actors, you're kind of transferring all that stuff back to them. And to the next person, and it's just gross. Who wants to be using the same cream palette as somebody else? Ooh. Okay, so I'm going through here and I'm adding short strokes to get a nice little hair effect over the pink. What?
You're at 53 minutes.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna hurry this up. See, I talk so much. Y'all.
You gotta be like a taxi driver, like an Uber driver.
Okay,
Talk and
so
drive, talk and
what
drive.
we're gonna do this real quick. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I'm gonna get you to kind of turn a little bit towards me. There you go. And again, short strokes. Y'all can probably see it better on this side when I do it. My problem is with teaching is that I love to talk, and I'm from Alabama, so my draw gets the best of me, and my side track gets in there too.
Jesse said, us Southerners love to chit chat, y'all.
Well, you ain't lying. All right, so we're gonna bring that and connect that down here to this one. Can y'all see me okay?
Erica said, forget about the time. You're doing great. Great tips.
We try to make it all work.
Listen, if the bosses are saying forget about the time, take your time. Enjoy it. Answer questions.
Okay, so now we got, again, thin brow, pretty brow. Not saying that thin brows ain't pretty. I don't want nobody to think that.
Yikes.
But I am gonna.
I always wear a thin brown dress.
Now I will say this is a little bit thicker than what you normally do, girl.
Very much so.
But it doesn't look bad on you. And that's the thing about makeup. If somebody else does your makeup, because Aura normally does her makeup and she does a fantastic job. She is a incredible makeup artist. But having somebody else do your makeup, it is a little eye-opening because sometimes you'll learn things from them that you didn't think to do on yourself. And then again, talking to them, they can teach you things that you probably never thought about using either. That's the thing I love about the makeup community. Everybody does everything so different. So you can learn from everybody.
Like for me with this look, I don't ever do like a fully blended eye. I normally have like harsh lines and structure in my eyes, so it's different to see like just colors all blended together.
Mm-hmm.
She's changing her drag after today.
No, she's not.
She's trying. She trying.
She
to
does
learn.
different looks.
She does different looks. That's the thing about that's what I love about big time about my drag family is that we do a lot of different looks.
Donna said, "Can we use a brow stencil and paint over?"
You absolutely can do that. I'm doing things the hard way and hand painting everything because I wanted to be that person today and paint everything. Yeah, but you can. To save time, you can make a stencil for all this, and it can definitely help save you time and a headache, and it'll help you save. Biggest part is your time.
Just a brow.
She has two now.
Just two brows. Oh, y'all wait. There's glitter involved in this. Y'all
There is.
y'all have
That's
no
why.
idea.
Like
There's also a wig. There's a whole look. Y'all stick around.
I took some time to style a new wig for this.
She did, and she also got some new lashes.
Yes.
So y'all don't go nowhere. You got nothing else to do. I don't know why I'm leaning on the computer. The computer's not the one recording.
Yeah, no, they can't see you.
Okay. So let's see. We're gonna kind of blend that a little bit, and then go back in with the purple and draw those little bitty hairs in there, so they get back into the ombre.
Sparkles said, "I love glitter."
I love glitter. Glitters is one of my favorite. Wait, is that Sparkles a clown?
Yeah.
Yes, hey girl.
Wait, I know Sparkles.
Mm-hmm. She does some amazing things. She's got one coming up too. She's got a face painting tips coming up. No, she just did it. I think she just did it. Am I that kind of person where I'm kind of backtracking myself?
I don't know.
All right. So next thing we're gonna do an eyeliner, and this is going on top of the lid. So I'm gonna use the back of my hand as this one, so we can kind of
Reese,
go through. Huh?
look at her centered.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
How did I do that?
You were focusing on one brow.
Well, no, it's the fact, it's this ring light. One is gonna be a little bit bigger than the other one. Alright, so I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. But again, to make this easier on yourself, you definitely want to use a stencil to kind of get that going. But yeah, you're more than welcome to use a stencil on this. I highly recommend that. Good tip, Donna.
Jenny says, a lot of the US demos are in the middle of the night for us here in the UK. So thank you so much for the daytime demo. It's 6:45 over here.
Y'all are very welcome. I just wish I was a little bit faster at this. All right, so I'm using a real thin brush and we're using black. This is, again, from the Dips palette, so it's a really nice solid black. And we're gonna get her to close her eye. We're gonna go on the top line for this. So because the eyes are closed, you're not getting any product in the eye. Excuse me. So we're gonna, again, take short strokes. And the thing I love about Proaiir is it just about dries instantly. And bada boom. Now I'm probably not going to be able to get the other one even, because working with this ring light, I thought I was like, yeah, I'm going to do ring light, I'm going to be a pro at this. Y'all, I got an eyebrow that looks uneven. But with using the Dips as the eyeliner, I like it because it just about dries instantly. And it is like a solid, like, vinyl finish on it. All right, don't open your eye yet, because we are going to get the other eye while your eyes are still closed. All right, I'm going to get you to turn towards me just a little bit. All right, I got too much on that. All right, so I'm going to, again, start where that line is right there and just kind of come down at an angle. And I'm kind of creating a stencil for myself using the Proaiir so that it's all even.
Sparkles not only wants you to do Sparkles makeup, but Sparkles also says, I say if gravy, ketchup, or glitter can't fix it, start over.
Oh, I like that saying. Gravy, ketchup, or glitter.
Please don't put gravy or ketchup on my face.
Oh, why not? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we're going to let that dry just a second. While she has her eyes closed, I am going to use another product. I'm using the white heat set powder from Bloody Mary Cosmetics, and a little flat brush like this. But this is the white heat set powder from Bloody Mary Cosmetics. You can use it wet or dry. I like it because it is a compact form of a white powder. I love a good white powder. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get you to turn your head that way. And to show you that you can use powders over this product, I'm going to go in here and kind of clean up that brow a little bit. And add in some highlight up there. All right, we're going to turn towards me just one more time. Again, clean up that brow. And Proaiir takes powders very well. All right, and again, with the Proaiir, with the powder I just used, it is, I just love it because it's super opaque, and it goes right over there. All right, I'm gonna actually use this brush. A good powder brush to kind of help get some of that off. Because I did put too much. Okay. All right, so it just kind of opens that up and adds some highlight to there. So now we're gonna real quickly go in with a, I'm using the Katy Perry eyeliner. It's a little kitty cat, black cat eyeliner. All right, and I'm gonna get R to look up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna start in the inner corner of the eye. And again, doing short strokes. I'm not gonna I'm not going to go all the way under the eye because I'm going to go back in there with another product. So we're going to go, all right, look straight at me real quick. So about where her iris is, I'm going to leave that blank, and I'm going to kind of pick back up and connect it to the outer eyeliner. Now, some people aren't very comfortable with this part, but one thing I do recommend, if you're not comfortable with it, get your actor to do it, but it's tight lining in that water line. One way to help do that is use this pad of your finger because it's not as hard underneath the eye. All right, if you'll look up for me, you just barely push on it. Don't pull. You push on the eye, and it exposes that water line. And you just go in there like that. Okay. Now I'm going to use a real fluffy blending brush. I don't know if you can see that real quick. And I'm using Gold Dust from the Bloody Mary Cosmetics line. And I'm going to pick, it's a real pretty shimmery black. It's got a lot of gold in it. I'm going to use that. Tap off some of the excess, and I'm going to grab my little shield because I use this thing for just about everything, but I'm going to go right underneath the eye so I don't get any fallout and get you to look up for me. And I'm going to buff out that bottom line with the Gold Dust. I like this color because it has so much shimmer to it.
Before you continue,
Okay.
yeah, we like to see the details. So yes, a bit closer.
Yeah. So it does. I'm gonna
And show about
get you
the,
closer.
when you do the other eye,
Mm-hmm.
show the technique about pushing on the eye instead of pulling on the eye.
Yeah.
That way they can see that.
All right. So we're gonna. So again, it's just really on that outer corner to kind of blow it out and smoke it out. You don't really want to do a whole lot on it, but I like the way that black goes because it's not a good solid black. It's intense enough, but it's got that gold dust in it that really just kind of makes everything shimmer. Okay, so again, we're going to go on this side. I'm going to get a little bit closer. All right, so we're going to start again. Use your ring finger. You want to push on the eye right up underneath it, so it exposes that water line, and you just go back and forth on it. And again, talking to your actor. There. You don't want to pull underneath that because that eye pad is very sensitive. You don't want to pull on that. You don't ever want to pull on that. You just want to expose it a little bit. All right, I'm going to get you to turn towards me a little bit more so I can get that inner corner. Okay. And again, we're just connecting that outer V into the eye. I don't want to go all the way into it. All right, look at me real quick. It is tough to do a makeup on someone else and get all the details in there. For one, do it quickly, and two, do it enough to where you guys can see what we're doing.
Yeah, and let the camera kind of focus on her a little bit because every time the black shirt comes in, she gets blown out.
Okay, I was worried about that. All right, so again, I'm gonna get close with my guard here. I'm gonna come over on this side so I can kind of let you guys see. I'm gonna blow that out a little bit. All right, open up and look up for me. Okay, actually, I like the way that one did better. All right, we're gonna fix that over here on this side. And there, it just kind of helps blow that out and smoke it out and add just a little bit of sparkle when you're interested. All right, so we're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting there.
Actually, I like this one better. She
This
connected
one?
it all the way, yeah.
Oh.
So it looks
All
very
right, yeah, look at me real
smoky.
quick.
Yeah. She looks sultry.
Well, I like leaving that little bit of like bare skin in there because it kind of adds that better in my, almost that Britney Spears like 2005. Yeah. That real pretty little doe eye.
What? I thought of something.
Okay. Now the lip color that I'm going to use, I'm actually using a lip product because we're going to lips, so we're going to use an actual product for the lips. I'm using Miss Argentina from Kat Von D, and I have emptied a little bit out on the back of my hand here. I'm using the applicator, and because Aura does have really pretty lips, we're going to actually use her outline for her lips. So I'm going to start right in the middle. Start in the middle to get that V, and then we bring it into the sides to match it. It's so hard to do this with this camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, just following her lip shape. This would be the point that if you were going to overdraw the lips, I would recommend to do it now as you're drawing the lips on, because it makes it a lot easier than to kind of going back and doing it later. I'm sorry, I don't usually talk when I'm doing this part because I'm holding my breath just as much as they are. I don't know. All right, smile at me real quick. Make sure I got that even. Because one thing that drives me nuts is, you know what? I'm going to use this. Because I can't get close enough with that brush. There we go. There we go. I like that Cupid's bow to be very defined. So I had to use a little bitty brush to get back in there and do it. Before we get in there and contour the lips out and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and do some of the shiny stuff and make it real pretty and make it pop real good. So again, we're using Kat Von D's Metal Crush palette and highlighter in Gold School. It kind of looks a little white, but it goes on and has a good gold fleck to it. So we're gonna use a highlighter brush for that, tap off the excess, and we're just gonna hit the highlight points of the face. Pretty much the points that we highlighted with the airbrush makeup, we are gonna hit with this. Let's see, and I may need to get Savannah. I'm gonna use my finger and just kind of come straight down the nose. I may need to get Savannah to take the put the airbrush compressor back on, because I just realized
if you can hear us, we need the compressor back on.
I just realized that I forgot to add blush, y'all. Okay, so we're taking that off. One thing before we do the blush and everything I do want to talk about is adding glitter. You can use
Thank you.
You can use Proaiir as a setting spray. Use the Proaiir Pro Long. I like to get it and put it in little squirt bottles like this, and it does so many different things. You can use it for glitter. You can use it for you can use that as a mixing medium for the glitter, which I have a stack of glitters that I've got from Walmart. It's the extra fine glitters. But as long as it's extra fine, it'll look good on the skin. Chunky glitters, I don't like chunky glitters on the skin because it's just a lot of stuff going on. Let's see, we're gonna use...
Sam Star said, bright colors.
She said Miss Aura is in drag.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is drag today.
and I'm using a couple of drops of the red from the Atomic line. Still got that purple in that gun. I should have cleaned it beforehand. But, there we go. All right, so I'm going to be using it very lightly on the cheeks. So I'm going to get you to kind of turn towards the camera a little bit. I don't know if I can't see that side. There we go. All right, so I'm going to start again where I did the contour into the face, but I'm going to hit more back into the temple and bring it down. So you kind of get like almost like a Neapolitan ice cream look. You got vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate for the highlight blush and contour. But I'm going to use that as a transition between the highlight and the contour. But I like the red as a blush because it is, once you put it over your contours, it kind of has that hot pink look to it almost, because you can build it. But I do love using the red as a blush. You wouldn't think to use red blush, but on certain skins it looks great. It looks great. They're great. All right, turn that way for me. Let's see, I'm going to get you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Drag makeup is not a slow process by any means. I can generally paint other people's faces faster than I can paint mine. Which is saying something. And that's even using Proaiir. But now if I'm doing this like...
Someone said they love the atomic colors a lot.
Oh yeah, atomic colors are great because they are so intense. They're one of my favorites.
And then Jesse said, blush is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. All right, now I'm going to use the purple again. I'm going to find a clean spot on my skin. I got purple. You want to see that? I'm going to kind of contour the lips a little bit with it, because we've got that barrier down of a skin safe product. Proaiir is skin safe, but you've got a product for the lips as a barrier. So I'm going to kind of contour on top of those. So I'm going to get you to kind of relax your lips the best you can, and we're going to hit the outer corners. Just to kind of make them pop a little bit. There we go. And see, just adding that little bit. It's whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Okay. Hey, Savannah, honey, can you turn that off for me? Thank you.
Savannah!
Oh, don't be like that. That's not what we're
She's
doing.
outside.
That is not what we're doing
She's
here.
watching the live.
She's
She can
watching
She's watching live. Okay. So now that we got all that done,
You can turn off the compressor. Thank you, darling.
Thank you, honey. Now that that's sitting there acting cool, there we go. All right, one of the things that I always did when I first started in drag was I always gave myself a mole, and I always kept a little black bottle of Proaiir Dips in there to give myself a mole. I don't know why, Beauty Mark, everybody thinks Beauty Mark goes for a drag queen. But I use the back end of a brush, and I dip it in there, and then I just pop it. There you go, you got a Beauty Mark. And it dries, it's part of the makeup, it won't come off, you won't sweat it off, it's great. Again, now that we've got the face pretty much done, I'm gonna set it with Prolong, but I'm doing that to make the surface wet, because I'm gonna go back in and add some glitter. What did I do with my glitters? There we are. Okay.
Alright, the question comes to you. With all of those layers of airbrush makeup, again, how does it feel now?
Why did you say it like that?
Donna's asking, so I gotta ask.
No, it still feels just like when we started. It doesn't feel like there's anything. If anything, the only thing I can feel is the actual lip product that we put on, which wasn't a Proaiir product. So that's really the only thing I can feel on my skin.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm gonna get you to take a deep breath and hold and close your eyes. All right, and we're gonna kind of go in this T-zone because that's where I want to put it. I've got this gold. I'm gonna kind of pop right there. Again on this side, and y'all can't really see this, but the skin is a little wet from the spray. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I used to hate glitter, but Proaiir, Prolong especially, made me love glitter because it locks it on the skin. And again, it's a little intense here at the house. All right, I'm gonna get you to close your eyes one more time. So I'm gonna layer it again. We're gonna kind of, because that's gonna lock that onto the skin so you won't sweat the glitter off, it won't rub off on anything, and when you wipe your makeup off at the end of the night, it comes off in one easy swoop. All right, so we're getting to that point with lashes. We're almost there, y'all. So most lashes come on a card like this, a little plastic card. You want to take them off very slowly, but one of the big things when you take them off, when you take lashes off, is you want to rock them back and forth in your fingers like that, because that breaks the glue that's on the thing, and it makes it easier to apply. What are y'all doing? They are sign language over here, and I don't know what they're doing.
Sam moved my costume and my wig. Did you bring all my other stuff?
Okay.
Earring?
Glue,
Airbrush,
hairspray.
glue,
Okay. Airbrush.
All right, so I'm using the back of the brush, and what I'm using to attach these lashes with is Weave Bond. This stuff you can get, it's 30-second Weave Bond. You can get at the wig shop, the beauty salon store. It's basically just a black latex, but because drag queens do a lot of jumping, bouncing, moving around, normally duo stuff like that don't really work. So you need something a little bit more intense to kind of keep the eyeshadow. What's this thing called?
Don't use for regular use.
Yeah. What is this thing called? An eyelash. Lord. I'm getting to that point, y'all. Okay. All right. Close your eye real quick. All right. And one thing I like to do when I'm doing eyelashes on other people is I will kind of center. I don't know. I've just done this for so long I can just pop it down and it goes on. It's hard to kind of do that. But if you want to, you really kind of want to lay down the inner corner first. No, I'm saying that backwards. You want to lay down the middle first, then make sure your inner corner and your outer corner lay down. And you want to follow that lash line. I mean, not the lash line, but the line that you created with your eyeliner. So I'm going to let Aura keep her eyes closed just for a minute. Girl, I didn't put these on backwards because I couldn't tell.
I was wondering if you did that or not.
Yeah. I was like, I knew it looked a little weird when it went on, but I wasn't going to say nothing. But the good thing about it, it comes right off and it doesn't take the makeup off because it is, if you pull it off before it sets, let me remind you, if you pull it off before it sets, you're good to go. If you try to pull it off later, you might have a hard time with it. I have pulled many lashes out doing it this way.
Question is, what lashes are we using?
These are...
I have a new package. Yeah.
The Real Mink V-Lux by I Envy.
Yeah, I found them at the beauty supply store. You can just... They're like this little pink... Wow. They're like this little pink package.
Right,
I get a lot of my lashes from the beauty supply store because they like to sell a lot larger lashes than what you can get at like a CVS or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So once Barry is done with the makeup, Aura is going to finish the whole look by putting on a costume, earrings, hair, and everything. So while that's happening, Barry is going to sit in that chair where Aura is, and he's going to answer all questions about drag. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them right now. I will type them down, and we will ask them to him while Aura gets the finishing touches. Can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
Which won't take long.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more intense than it actually is, but yeah, finishing touches in drag is like nothing. Okay, yeah, that's better. All right, so we're going to start on the middle of the eye, lay down the inner corner, and then lay down the outer corner. And again, you want to kind of push them up a little bit. I did kind of want to take this to the next level and do like a zombie thing with it to show you how versatile Proaiir can be and how really airbrush in general can be. Is it not drying?
I mean, it's drying. It's just taking a second.
Yeah. The Proaiir in general, not Proaiir, airbrush in general, how it can be so versatile. You can take it and add it on top of existing makeup. But, is it in there? You good? Oh, and they started. Sometimes that does happen. But yeah, that's pretty much the completed drag look. So if you want to go ahead and get your hair and all that fun stuff on. So she's gonna go do that while I sit here and chit chat with you guys for just a quick second.
Oh. It's all right.
I caught it. We're good.
All right, so we have a couple of questions.
Yeah. I can't believe we still got 45 people watching. Thank y'all for sticking around because I know I talk a lot.
One of the questions is, how long does it take you to get in full drag face?
In full drag face, probably what? Like if I'm not talking to nobody, 45 minutes to an hour, give or take. We'll say an hour and 15 minutes just to be on the safe side.
How big is your closet, and where do you get all your stuff from?
Now we make, or I make all of our stuff here. I sew all of our costumes. Now all of our wigs and stuff like that we get from other places. Because I am not a wig stylist. My drag daughters are amazing wig stylists. I just didn't inherit that for some reason.
You don't inherit things from them. They inherit things from you. That's how.
But I'm talking about by way of like osmosis because we're around each other so much.
What is your favorite drag makeup style, and if you have one?
I'm gonna say like late '90s, early 2000s. Britney. Pamela Anderson, that kind of, I like that kind of blown out smoky look. Jennifer Tilly's another one of my favorite ones. I love her. I keep looking this way and it makes me look cross-eyed because I forget the camera's right here. I hate live videos sometimes.
How do you do makeup at Atrox?
At Atrox, again, the biggest thing with me is making sure everything is clean because we come in contact with so many different people and we come in contact with just people from every kind of walks of life, so we want to make sure that we're not cross-contaminating anything. So the fact that the makeup we use, we clean religiously with alcohol. We make sure, I mean, that's one reason why we went with airbrush makeup, because we're not using a product that is touching so many other people's faces.
Virtu Garcia asks, ¿Qué pegamento usas para tus pestañas? What adhesive do you use for your
How dare you talk to me
lashes?
Do what?
What adhesive do you use for your lashes? And I'll translate it.
Yeah,
since he asked in Spanish.
Adhesive that I use for my lashes is the Super Wig
El pegamento que usamos para las pestañas es el pegamento de pelucas, pero no es seguro para los ojos. Lo usamos nada más para drag.
Just kidding, that was... it's basically like a black liquid latex.
Es como latex, pero es blanco, es negro, no va a ser blanco. Pero no es bueno para los ojos, pero es bueno para drag performers. There we go.
Thank you for translating.
Do you exclusively airbrush for stage?
Not all the time. For sometimes in the shows, I really like to use Derma Blend because it is kind of hard at times to carry around an airbrush compressor with you all the time because some of them are kind of bulky. Now, Proaiir does offer a lunchbox size, which I had one, but mine's, because I'm careless, it broke. I need to get me another one. But it is kind of bulky. So, yeah, I primarily use cream makeup.
Tell us about using Proaiir to customize your dresses or outfits.
Yeah, now I don't use Proaiir because it is makeup, but I do use Createx airbrush paint, and I have a completely separate airbrush gun that I use for craft paints and stuff like that, because you don't have to. You can use the same airbrush for both, but I prefer to have one for craft paints and one for makeup.
Per costumes, how many do you have in Sharon? We use a whole room as a closet.
Can I get a lifeline? I don't know.
Donna, we have
a lot. We have a lot of stuff.
And we have gotten rid of a lot. So we're going to answer a couple more questions before ours ready.
Ours ready. See, doesn't take long.
I've missed what you use to flatten your eyebrows. What product is it?
We use...
it's right behind you.
Yeah, we use a number of different things. I like to use Proaiir because it lasts through sweating, because I sweat like a... I can't say that on these live feeds. This is Alabama-isms.
What are you trying to say?
I was going to sweat like a cheap whore in church, but I
can't. They can hear you! You sweat a lot.
I sweat a lot, so I like to use Proaiir. Now, using things like glue stick and stuff like that is really good for quick makeups if you're doing something in a studio where you're just under the lights, you're not going to be sweating a whole lot. Elmer's glue stick works great for that, but for me, who's somebody who sweats a whole lot, use Proaiir. Proaiir's one of the best ones.
And then today we use glue stick.
Yeah, we use glue stick today because this is a quick makeup. I want her to be able to get this off easily.
A hunter here. All of this is new to me. It's cool though. 2 questions. Mm-hmm. What was the name of the lashes, of the lash glue again? I couldn't read it in the bottle. And are those lashes reusable at all? Yes. So the
Yes
one,
and yes.
Yeah. It was there it is.
Yeah, it's called Salon Pro 30-second Super Hair Weave Bond. It's basically a black liquid latex. I've been in a pinch and I've used Proaiir to glue down my lashes before. As long as you've got an adhesive that is skin safe, you're good. But yeah, this particular one is just a black liquid latex that you can get from the beauty supply store, and this particular brand is Salon Pro 30-second Select.
What can you do to make thin lips thicker?
To make them thicker, bite them. No, I'm just kidding. No, to make thin lips thicker, again, it's all trickery. You want to, they do make those lip glosses that kind of tingle a little bit that do enhance your lips. I think they got like cinnamon and stuff in them. They work great. You can get those from Ulta, from Sephora,
I
stuff
think
like
the
that.
question was with like makeup.
Oh, with
like
makeup?
tips, not like plumping lips. Yeah, not surgery.
You want to get them plump. No, with makeup, you want to just overdraw them. You want to make it believable, though. One of the biggest tips that I can give is to follow the X in the middle. If you follow your Cupid's bow, you can make a big X and then draw in from the outer corner in to make your lips bigger. Because I don't really have a big top lip as it is, so to make my lip bigger and drag, I do an X on my Cupid's bow, and then I start from the outer corner coming into that to make them match.
Has the feed stop on you? Do you
No,
still have that?
I'm still going, yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Oh,
The
no,
last
the feed stopped.
question
Okay.
before we reveal Arabesque is what part of your stage drag makeup can be the thickest if you are under pressure to and pray it goes right? The trickiest, not the thickest.
My eyeliner,
trickiest.
that's gonna be the trickiest. Now I draw a spider on my face too, and if I screw that up, then it makes me mad because it's the last thing that I do before I get into full get up. I draw a black widow spider on the side of my face, and if I mess that up, it kind of makes me mad. But so I'm gonna say either the spider or eyeliner.
All right, Barry.
All right,
Stand
so
up so
we are
she'll
ready
have
to
sit
show
down.
y'all Aura. She is completely ready in her wig.
Ladies and gentlemen, bow! And I
And
fell.
Sam just fell, y'all. Okay, so yay, we are completed. So we have, again, this whole face was done using primarily Proaiir products. I did use the Katy Cat, sorry. Is this Maybelline? No, CoverGirl. Well, that line should be CoverGirl. I used the CoverGirl eyeliner. I used Bloody Mary Cosmetics, eyeshadows, and that's pretty much, and Kat Von D, and that's pretty much it. So it doesn't take a whole lot of products to look like a drag queen, but you know, I highly recommend it. If you can do it with Airbrush, do it.
Get closer to the camera so they can see the details in your beautiful hair that you styled.
Yeah, she made the wig, she styled it and everything, so it looks great. She's got on some little dainty earrings. That eye is just snatched up and backwards. I love it. All right, so and I can't believe we still got 42 people.
Take your paper. It's
Oh.
okay.
Okay.
The other one. It's okay.
So I do want to put this up here before we quit. If you guys, I'm just putting it right on you. Yeah.
It's backwards.
It's backwards, isn't it? I didn't think about that. I didn't think none of this stuff being backwards. Lord, what is that? Busy Town?
Busy town.
Not Busy Town.
Lazy town.
Lazy Town.
No, it's
yeah.
not.
Okay. Okay. Well, here we go. So it's at Reese Eve Cocx, at Reese Eve Cocx Official, and at Murder Me Designs. You can follow me on all levels of social media. I have a TikTok, but I don't got no videos on it. But
And follow Arabesque.
yeah, and follow Arabesque at
Aura_vanity on Instagram, and then my Facebook is just Arabesque.
All right, now we're going to type this in thing, and I am going to put a list of the products that we used in the comments section. So make sure if you want to go back when this video is posted, we can definitely do that and have everything listed for you so you can be able to recreate this. Use products that you may not have had or have fun with it. We love you guys. Y'all take care. Enjoy this quarantine as much as you can. Stay safe. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Y'all have a great day.